Flack math! Give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Flack math!
All right, this is practice test 1, starting with number 1. And that's a good place to start. So paperback books are on sale for $3.95 each, including tax. Explain how you could use the distributive property to mentally calculate the cost of buying 7 paperback books. Think of $3.95 as blah minus blah. So here's the deal with these tests. Sometimes they give you a little starter. So these aren't the actual tests. These are like, I forgot what they're called, but they give little hints here and there. Sometimes those hints are confusing. So if they're confusing, just ignore that and just write it on your paper how you want to write it, okay? All right, so $3.95, including tax, 7 paperback books. Okay. Goodness. That is confusing, isn't it? Okay, so what did you guys do in number 1? So it kind of gives it away here.
I did 5 minus 125.
Okay.
$5 minus $1.25.
Okay, so you can distribute that across. You get 35 minus, what is that?
You do the think of 395 as.
Oh, not 125.
Oh, I mean
105.
105.
Wait, I did it with think of $3.95 as $4.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
$4
I don't. It doesn't really tell you really anything there, right? So I mean that's a lot of tax, but who cares, right? So calculate, mentally calculate the total cost of buying 7 paperback books. This is a weird problem. Oh well.
Why?
So either way, you should get, what is that? 2765. Okay. So it doesn't matter what 2 numbers you pick, just make sure it subtracts the 395.
Well, yeah, but that's because I just skipped all the word problems and just did math. But
So it's supposed to make it a little easier, right? So it's supposed to make it a little easier to calculate that instead of, because 395, that's kind of a tough multiplication problem. But if you do like 7 times 4 minus 0.05, well that's just 28 minus 0.35, so that's just 27.65. So that's using the distributive property. You can use that mentally in your head. It's kind of like multiplying anything by 15. What's 22 times 15?
I don't know. A big number. I don't know.
22 times 15. Well, how would you do it?
30.
Well,
Using
a calculator, that works. Well, 22 times 10 plus 5, right? So 22 times 10, 220. 22 times 5, half of that, 110. So 220 plus 110 is 330. Okay? So multiplying by 15, you can use the distributive property mentally by multiplying by 10
I'm a visualist.
and then multiplying by 5. Or just use your calculator. Whatever. Number 2. Identify which property of real numbers is being demonstrated. What is that? Commutative. That's right. If you see 3 or more things being multiplied or added with parentheses in different places, what property is that? If you see 3 or more things being multiplied or added and with parentheses in different places, associative. That's right. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I don't know how to say it, but it was one of those.
Yeah, so it's basically those 2 guys are what we talked about mostly. That's number 2, yeah, commutative.
It's just commutative but it says property of. Do you have to add the of, like
Yeah.
multiplication?
You could, yeah, you just of multiplication, yeah, but I understand what you mean if you just say commutative.
Okay.
So don't stress about that.
35 minus 7.
All right, number 3. Does the diagram depict a function? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so this means like A, B, if it's all going to the same thing, then that's still a function. Yes. But if it was something like this, like A going to B and to C, that this would be a no. Okay? So I'm not sure what kind of question you'll get on your actual test, but that's probably what it'll be. So your domain, yeah.
Like, I don't understand why that's wrong, though, because, like, it's still technically going to, like...
It's just where the arrows go, because they show arrows on the test. It just shows like where they're going.
Oh, so it's just basically how they...
Yeah.
Yeah, so this, the left is called the domain, and this is called the range.
It's always from left. The left one is always going to like the actual
Yeah.
function.
So your domain in this would be domain equals 7 and 9, right?
Yeah.
And then your range is 2.
Wait, how'd you get that again? I wasn't paying attention.
I just looked, the numbers on the left are the domain, and the number of numbers on the right is the range.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So now a member of the domain has to only go to 1. So see how B only goes to C. A only goes to C. But if a member of the domain goes to multiple members of the range, then they are, yeah. I was going to try to make a joke about, never mind.
Okay.
So yeah, this is bad. This is not functional. This is a dysfunctional machine. Like if you put something in a machine, you want to expect the same result every time. But if sometimes it pops out of B and sometimes it pops out of C, then that's no good. Okay, so that's number 3. You guys good there?
Yeah.
Number 4. A leasing company charges $25 per day for a car rental. This can be expressed by the order pair 1,25 for 1 day. Got it. Find the cost of a 2-day, 3-day, and 4-day rental. Express the answers as ordered pairs in a set notation. Okay, so if I were to graph this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and each of these is like $25, right?
Yeah.
25, 50, 75, 100. Then it would look like this. So here's 1, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. So boom, 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 right? Okay, so what are my ordered pairs? 125 is the first one. What's the next one? 2, 50, 3, 75, and 4, 100. Okay? So your domain is your x values. So still, see how this is your domain? So domain is 1, 2, 3, 4. Your range is 25, 50, 75, and 100. Okay? Does that feel all right?
Yeah.
Okay, so domain is always your left, the ones on the left, or the x values, because x's are on the left and y's anyway. Okay? All right, number 5. Now we get into the nitty-gritty. Parenthesis, -4 to the -2 power. How do you do that? How do you simplify this with positive exponent? Or not positive, let's just multiply it out. You could put that in your calculator, but don't you forget those parentheses. If you forget the parentheses, it'll mess it up. But if you were stranded on a deserted island, which you could be between now and Tuesday, you don't have a calculator, how are you going to do this?
No, I'm not going to be doing math in the desert.
Yes, maybe that's the only thing that will keep you sane.
Well,
Math
I'm done.
saves
I'm
lives.
yeah, I'm
If I don't have my calculator, I won't have my math book.
You could,
They don't separate.
but I would recommend eating the pages of your math book instead of doing the math.
If math is the
Well,
only thing
how would I
keeping me
do math
sane,
then?
then
All right, well, what do you do with negative exponents? What do you do?
make it a positive.
You make it a positive, but after you do what?
Put it under 1.
Reciprocate
put it under 1. Yeah, reciprocate it. Throw it on the bottom. If there's no top or bottom, then it's on the top, right? So put it on the bottom. So if you put everything on the bottom, you still have to have a 1 on the top. So -4 to the +2. Okay?
Wait, you have to leave the parentheses.
If you can do it in your head, great. If you don't leave it, then it's going to be
Wait.
-4 squared instead of -4 squared.
What?
That's dangerous.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
Yes.
Wait, wouldn't you just make the 4 positive by being above?
No. So remember, the negative exponent doesn't have anything to do with whether it's positive or negative. So negative exponent means flip it. Put it
So
on the
wait,
bottom.
I have a question.
Yes.
So if there was no parentheses and it was -4 squared without like -4 not negative.
Right, like -4 squared?
Exactly. Would
Okay.
that mean that the square is also a negative?
No.
No.
If there's no parentheses, this is -4 squared. But if there's parentheses, this is -4
It's the same
It's
thing.
the same
squared.
That's the
How
same
is it
thing.
different?
It's
How is
when you
The
implement
pauses
the
make it different.
This
You
pauses /
Yeah,
sniffs.
but don't you get the
whether
same
you
thing
square
out of like the
-4
same
or
number?
whether
No, you
you
don't.
square 4 and
This
then make
gives
it
you -4 times -4, right?
Yeah.
This is
16.
+16. This is -4 times
So
4.
just -16.
That's -16. Okay? So this is a different problem. Okay? So that's not this problem, that's this problem. Those parentheses.
I was
Yeah. So does that make sense, guys? Do you see the difference?
So just
so
-4 squared
Okay.
without the parentheses is like -4 times 4.
Yeah. So another way to think about it is this 2 applies to whatever's to the left of the 2. What's to the left of the 2?
The -4. So
No.
just
This whole parenthesis. So this is what you need to multiply by itself.
So
-4 times itself.
But if you didn't have the
Right?
parentheses, it would be -4.
So that's what you're squaring, is this cute little emoji parenthesis -4 parenthesis. Okay?
It doesn't.
So
I
that's
mean,
what
I
you're
can
multiplying.
get
You're
three
multiplying
answers, so it's
-4
really
times another -4.
Oh, okay.
Right, but
if
over
there's
here-
no
If
parentheses,
there's no parentheses, it's
-4 times 4.
So this is -4 times 4. So that 2 only applies to the 4. It doesn't apply to the negative.
Okay, I got
Okay.
you. I got you.
I think
I
got
think-
It doesn't matter. I got the right answer anyway.
Okay? You'll get it. You'll get it after a few B's on a test. I'm just kidding. You won't get a B. You're not gonna get a B.
I'm gonna get an A.
Right.
3 problems. That's the goal.
Okay. You guys good? And again, sometimes that's confusing, the little boxes and stuff. If that's confusing you, then ignore it. All right. I love these problems. X, y to the -2, x to the 4th, y to the -6. All over -5, -4, 3.
I have one more class. 2 more. Oh my god.
Okay, so we just have to simplify this. So I just want an x with an exponent and a y with an exponent. So how do you simplify this? What would you do? Yeah, that's what I would do, is just throw all these guys up top. You don't have to do it that way. You could simplify the top first, simplify the bottom, and then subtract exponents. Subtraction is dangerous. Stay away from it. It kills. Okay? So if I bring these up, what do I have to do to the exponents?
Make them positive or
Make them positive. Change the sign. So this is a y to the -5 on the bottom, so it's y to the +5 on top. X to the +4, y to the -3, and what's the exponent for the x?
-1.
-1, because remember, when you don't see an exponent, it's 1. So bring it up and it's -1. Okay, do you guys understand that rule with negative exponents?
Yes.
Okay, so now I can ignore that and then just add the exponents. I don't have to worry about subtracting anything. The quotient rule, I just have to do the product rule. So this is x to the, there's a 1, plus 4 is 5, plus 4 is 9, plus -1 goes down to 8. So x to the 8th.
I got it all wrong
Then did you get it wrong?
Yeah, I did it wrong.
So y to the -2, -6, so that's -8. With the +5 comes down to -3. Listen, negative 3 is negative 6. What does the answer say to write it in? Nothing. So you could leave it like this if you wanted to. That's totally fine. But if the negative exponent bothers you, what could you do? Yeah, so just say x to the 8th
Mr.
over
Flack?
y to the 6th.
So the third x on the top, is it to the fourth or to the third on there? Because I got it to the third on number 6. On the test. Like, the problem. Doesn't x say 3 on the...
It does. Sorry, I copied that problem down wrong.
There we go. That's why I didn't. Okay, we're good.
So did you guys get the x to the 7th?
Yes.
No.
Wait, no, I got just x because
I got just X.
I got just x.
Is it a
I
negative
just
3?
Because I got x and y to the third. That was my
Negative
answer.
I got y to the 4.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
x and y to the I mean y to the fourth.
X
Sorry.
and y to the
Yeah, x and y to the fourth. That's what I got.
I totally missed. See how I did y to the 4th? X to the
I got x and y to the fourth.
I thought mathematical.
Did I do it right?
Mathematical error.
Yes, Mr. Flack.
Is that a mathematical error?
That is because you got the problem.
You totally got it wrong.
Or we're all wrong. I don't know.
No, you're definitely not wrong. I
didn't tell you.
wrote the problem
We got
down
different
wrong.
answers.
Free
So
problem
if
If you can prove to me that that was a mathematical error and
Because
not
Well,
a...
the thing is because you did get it right that way, but like you got it mathematically wrong on number 6. Like that would be correct, but it wasn't on the test.
Like if I was taking the test,
Yeah.
I'd be wrong because
Yeah.
I copied the
Yeah,
problem.
that's
down.
mathematical
What is
error
that?
because you got it wrong hypothetically on the test.
Because not only did you copy it down wrong, then you did the math.
Is copying
No, you did the math right, but
mathematical?
just for the
I would
wrong
say it
problem.
is.
But
Yes.
it would be wrong, which makes it a mathematical error because you didn't do it on the right
I
problem.
told
When you're copying it down, it's an equation. It's
Actually, what is considered
the problem.
Wait,
equals
so
the
what's
problem.
the
X
I'm
equals
so
X.
this is just English class
X
all
and-
over again.
It's x and y to the fourth.
So if you did
so
that wrong,
if you'd said x and y to the 4th as your answer, then you wouldn't be correct, right?
okay.
What's x to the 0?
X. It's nothing.
Oh, nothing.
No, it's just 1. And then that disappears when it's multiplied by something. So what is it? Is it y to the 4th is what you end up with?
I got one of the 6.
So it looks like
I got
y
two.
to the negative 2 plus 4 is positive 2, 7 minus 3 is 4. So it should just be y to the 4th.
But there's a line for you to write a fraction. Look at that.
Oh,
Yeah.
you could put a fraction there.
I guess that could not be a fraction.
No, that's the next problem.
Well,
Yeah, the line is just the problem.
I was
I
looking at
hate
Yeah.
how they did that.
Yeah, it's
Why?
confusing, isn't it?
ugly.
Wait, so it's y to the 4th?
It's just y to the 4th.
Wait, why?
Because it was x to the 0 and then y to the 4th.
I
I
didn't
thought
make
it
the
was
mistake
X to the
of
8.
assuming
Wait,
x to the
what?
0.
I copied the problem down
X,
wrong.
actually.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I was really
X
negative
confused,
2,
but it's
x,
okay.
positive 2, 1. It should just be 1.
Yeah, she was just one X.
So I've got x. So this is
4.
x to the 4th
That's 4.
plus negative 2 is
2.
x to the negative 2
Negative 2.
Wait,
plus
Wait, what?
plus 3 would be x to the 1
Wait, hold up. I don't.
plus negative 1 would be 0.
Plus negative.
Correct.
What does the solutions manual say? What is this? Did I put the solutions on there?
No.
I didn't?
No.
Okay.
I think
Wait,
it's x
negative
to the
should be
1.
x.
I think
Plus-
it's x to the
it should
1.
be plus 4.
It should be.
It should be x.
He's right.
It
but-
should be X.
On top, you
Plus
end
negative
up with
1
x to
Plus
the
negative 1.
negative 2.
Because you add 4. The x to the 4th.
It should be X.
Right.
X to the 4th. It should be x to the 4th.
X to the
I'm pretty
third.
sure it should be
X to the. No, look.
Where
there's,
does
I,
x to
no,
the-
I have a little.
Wait,
Wait,
so
at the
done
bottom you said
today.
x to the
I know.
negative 4th, but you
Oh.
forgot it should be this
Gonna
four.
head out.
Yeah, that should be.
So then it is x to the 4th. So
I'm gonna head out. Negative.
No, I'm right twice. Can I please have a free problem set?
Okay.
So I was right.
All right. So
Wait,
two.
what?
So I did do 2 non-math related mistakes
They
that
were-
you caught. So I'm
Yeah.
going to give you a free problem. Okay.
Oh
But if I copy a problem down wrong, guys, it's not a math mistake. It's just a stupid mistake.
Isn't it though? Because
Okay.
But it
like,
is.
I mean, like,
It's
just
technical.
Drew,
It's a
it's a
mistake
math
that happens
test
in math
mistake,
class.
but it's not a math mistake.
Oh.
Come on.
You made me think I was bad at math for a second.
Well, we can have a philosophical conversation about how everything is mathematical. Then yes,
The problem though is just
you're right.
writing
It's
an
a
equal
test.
equation. You have to be
It's
able
a
to write
test
a number
mistake.
equation, and you wrote an unequal equation, so it's false.
Right. I mean, we can get into a more. I love saying that everything in life is mathematical because if you apply it, I mean, there's physics and everything. There's math and everything. So
I fixed 2 problems.
okay. So
Highlights.
I just didn't hear a good answer of why it was mathematical. Let's do
Well,
7. So parentheses first, right? Or exponents first. So what's the power rule for exponents?
Sure.
Tell me if I'm copying this problem down for the love of Pete.
I
You are copying.
You're correct so far.
Yeah.
Correct.
You're copying something down.
-2.
Wait, should be
So that's a negative 2.
Negative.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
2. There you go. I do the square.
Guys,
And then
when you're
over.
40 freaking 8, your eyes start to go. Y
Yeah,
squared
same.
squared.
Same.
My accent is already crap, so it doesn't matter.
And your handwriting. But that went a long time ago.
Two.
Oh my god.
And then why did the throw in
My
parentheses
mom is
2?
10 years
Okay.
older than her.
All right. So let's do the power rule first. How do you deal with the power raised to a power? What's the rule there?
You
You can
Uh,
distribute.
yeah,
The
you
wrong.
do.
I'm talking about the wrong problem. You distribute it to all the whatever those are called variables. I don't know what they're called.
Exponents of the
Yeah,
variables
exponents, there we
inside. Okay, good. Now, if there's more than one, so you have to distribute that -2 to both of those.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then here's what I end up with: x to the -4th, x to the -2, y to the 6th, y squared, all over y to the 4th, x to the -2, y to the 6th.
Yeah.
So far, so good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now what?
I moved it. I simplified it.
Oh, you did? Okay, that's fine. You can do it that way if you want, or you can move it all up and then add them all at one time.
Well, I just simplified it, and then I brought whatever was at the top to the bottom, or
Okay.
whatever the bottom to the top.
Okay, well, let's do it that your way.
Okay.
So let's do, so that's 1 plus -4 plus negative, so that's -5. So x to the -5, y to the, let's see, 8th, right?
Yeah.
All over x to the -2, y to the 10th. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. If you want to clean it up a little bit before you bring everything up top, honestly, that's probably what I should have done here to make it less confusing in hindsight. But there's always a way to mess everything up, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this becomes x to the +2 on top and y to the -10 on top.
Mhm.
So then we can just add our exponents, or you could have just subtracted the exponents, but that's confusing. What's -5 minus -2?
-7.
-3. So see how it's confusing? So just bring it up top and then just add the exponents. -5 with -2 is a -3, so x to the -3. And then y to the -2. And then you can leave it like that, or if you're not comfy with the negative exponents, or if you're paying too much attention to that stupid thing.
That confused me so much.
Yeah.
I think I got the
I just
wrong
put it
answer
over
because
one.
of that.
Huh?
That actually is.
So, but now it makes sense, right? If you write it with positive exponents,
Yeah.
and if they put the answer like that, then they should say write your answer with positive exponents, because then that would make more sense.
Yeah.
But this is technically simplified.
Yep.
It's just not the format that they wanted,
What's the
but they didn't say they wanted.
like you know where you brought it up to the top?
Yep,
What's the second y?
-10 because it's y to
No,
the
the other
pop.
one.
No.
No, in the same one that the -10.
No, but he was
It's
from
x
me, so-
-5, y
negative
what?
eight.
Oh, y to the 8th.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
just my knee, 'cause I
Yeah, so that was just me adding the 6 and the 2 over here.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 7.
Well, people don't think I'm row anymore, so then I'm like, okay, I was right here.
12.
Are you gay?
No. That's Christmas break. And then 4 weeks of school, so.
Yeah.
4 weeks.
But
Yeah.
not really.
You know, because I
Kind
go
of.
back on August 3rd.
You didn't text me. I were.
Ugh.
I was.
All right, number 8. Here we go. Subtracting matrices. We got 5, 8, -9, and 0 minus
You might as well do one.
-2, 10, -12, 6. You could probably do this in your head. If it's too difficult in your head, I would recommend chicken scratching. So if you change this to addition, you can change all the signs in there. Or let's try to do it in our head. What's 5 minus -2?
3.
7. So
Seven.
I would suggest chicken scratching. Okay, 8 minus 10. -9 minus -12.
Yeah.
3.
Positive 3. 0 minus 6.
-6.
Okay, so if you would have done this,
That's what I did.
that's fine. And then 5 plus 2 is 7. 8 plus -10 is -2. -9 plus positive 12 is 3. 0 plus -6 is -6. Either way works. Do what feels good. That's not a good rule in life, just when it comes to All right, number 9. Determine whether the graph represents the graph of a function. Is it a function?
No.
Why not?
Because it crosses the x-axis twice, or the y, whatever it
Yes.
is
So
called.
the vertical line test says if you can draw a vertical line anywhere on the graph and it touches more than one
Passes through 2 points.
x value, or y, yeah, if the x goes to more than one y value, then it's not a
And then we
function.
get to 11 and we get it wrong.
Okay?
All of them are
Good.
wrong. So right now,
Number 10, simplify the expression by adding like terms. Yes. Algebra won the crap out of it. 4ab minus 3a minus 2ba. Ooh, they tried to trick us. But it's not tricky. Plus 6 plus 7a. What are like terms?
4AB and 2AB. Or
All right, but that's not a 2ab. What is that?
A BA.
It's
So
not a
it's still the
2ba.
same thing.
Don't forget, it's a negative. Okay, so when you're combining like terms and it's all over the place, I would recommend chicken scratching just to be safe. 4 and -2 is a positive 2ab or ba.
Yep.
But put ab if you're a good human who likes to alphabetize. Yes, Kira.
What is chicken scratching?
Oh, chicken scratching.
Oh.
That's a Flack math term. So it's always 2. If you change it to addition, you have to change the next sign. So it's always 2 because chickens only cluck twice.
I have a question. So
That's
just
not true.
because I just had another problem. If you had
What is
oh
this
my god.
Sorry, what?
My question
The highlight of my day, that's what it
because
is.
I did this on another problem. If you have like 2 minus -3, can you just do like plus positive 3?
Yep, because that's 2 clucks.
Okay, I'm
Bop,
just
bop.
I'm just making sure that
Yeah.
all
All right, what else? We got.
Do it again and make like a
This is
little
algebra.
star.
Okay.
So we got -3a and positive 7a. What's that?
Something.
10? No,
No,
4,
no,
sorry.
eight.
Wait,
4a.
4A.
Okay, and then you're just left with this lonely 6.
Full 6.
And that's it. Don't go any farther. Don't
Yeah,
try to
okay.
combine those together. They will not. They will explode. If you try to combine those.
They don't like
things.
each other.
They don't. Math is very segregated.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. All right, number 11. 11.
Unlike terms are.
Yeah. So a store is selling 4 carpets, shown with their dimensions. What is the total area of the 4 carpets? Yeah, I know.
I was so confused.
It's difficult.
I didn't even try this one.
Just turn your brain off and do the math. So, how do you find the area of a rectangle?
Length times
It's
width.
length times width. So just squish those dimensions together and see what happens. And then you're going to combine like terms. 3x and 2, and then the last one is, ooh.
Oh, wait.
Where are you going to put that
carpet
carpet?
like that?
That's a dumb
It's like
carpet.
a Warner carpet.
Okay,
I
so
don't
this
think
is,
about
what
it, though.
is this?
It's like
6x
half foot. It's like half a foot. 6 inches.
plus 4x. You see how I'm getting 6x and 4x? And 6x again. 1/2 times 4 is 2, so
Wait,
this
why
will
are
be
you getting
2x.
6x?
Did I write the problem down wrong?
No.
No, see now I'm
Wait,
now I'm
what?
No, you're
self-conscious.
not. Just like, why is that
What is
6x?
Because length times width. 3x times 2, 6x,
So
right?
I just added all the.
Oh, you found the perimeter. Did you find the perimeter?
Oh.
Okay, the thing is, like, I did
I
this,
thought we were
but
finding
it
the
looks like the
perimeter. Oh, we're
wrong
finding
answer.
Okay,
so I just decided
but
to erase it.
here's what you could have done, Silas. So let's see if your way would work. Like if you added all the lengths and multiplied that by the sum of all the widths or the heights. Let's see if you get the same thing. Well, what do you get here? What is that? Add them up.
18x.
18x. So that is your area. Okay? That's your area. Now let's see if you get, what is that? 5x, 6x, 6.5x times, that's, what is that? 9, 13. Ooh, no, you're not going to get that. So that doesn't work if you do it that way. Like if you could somehow put it all together to make one pretty little rectangle, then that could work. But no, just add them all together. Add all the areas. That's it. You good with 11?
That's 8?
That's it. So that's all you can
that answer
do.
was wrong.
Yes.
Whoa, so what's
Can't
the
you
answer?
add the
I ended
like
up
terms
doing
about the
right,
half?
but I thought it
Oh,
was
I just
wrong, so
know,
I
but
erased it.
to find the area, it's just length times width, right?
Like so far.
So 1/2 x times 4 is just 2x.
So
Wait,
I'm confused.
How-
Because
like, why is it
1/2,
not 4.5?
so you're multiplying these together.
It's basically
If you're
like
adding
0.5.
4.5,
It's like 0.5 times 4.
Yeah.
It would just be half of 4.
Oh, 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So what I wrote down is
I was just doing
6.5x times 13. Why did I get 13?
So you
Five
got
over there.
6.5, because you did what we were talking about. You added these
I
together.
just added everything together and the
7 plus
It's
6 is
got
13. So you multiplied 6.5 times 13. Don't
Yeah.
do that.
Why not do that?
Because it's not one big rectangle. If you put all these together, it would be a deformed shape that no one wants to look at. Okay?
I don't really like
So just
looking at
add
it
'em-
as is, so let's move on.
Each carpet, I know. I'm
Sorry.
throwing up in my mouth. a little bit.
Little.
Okay, number 12.
He talks so little.
Oh, you didn't even tell me what to do on that one.
Like, just
Oh,
listen.
no, so you're just adding the individual areas. So find the area of this rectangle.
Which is what?
It's 2x, length times width, right? So area equals 2x
You
times.
can't
3.
do 2x times 3 because they're not like.
You can't add them, but you can multiply whatever you want. Because in algebra, you can multiply everything you want. So it's kind of like 2x times 3 is 2x plus 2x plus 2x, right? That's what multiplication is.
Okay, so then it's 6. Okay, I get it.
So you can multiply, all you have to do is multiply the big even numbers and then throw on, you're just squishing it together. In multiplication in algebra, it's kind of like you're just squishing it all together. Okay?
Okay, sorry, I haven't imagined too much. I'm really rusty.
No, that's okay. It's understandable. So find the area and then you're going to add. So there's multiplication and addition in the same problem. That's always potentially confusing. Yes?
So the answer to 11 is 18x units squared?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So square units or units squared, that's awesome. So if it gives you inches or whatever, then you can use that. But if it doesn't, just say square units. All right, number 12. Identify the subsets of real numbers to which the number negative square root of 3. Ooh, it's so ugly. What do you think that is?
Real and irrational.
So it's a real number because I wrote it down.
I did the easy ones first and then like left 5 problems out so I could go to bed.
So it's real and irrats.
Like 1.
So you may want to write this down if you want. Anything with a radical in it after you simplify it, and this is simplified, you can't do anything else, is irrational. Because the only thing that would make that rational if you could actually take the square root of 3. But you can't. I mean, you can, but it's an irrational number. So it's not a perfect square. So anything with a radical in it is irrational, or anything with a pi in it. So if you see a radical or pi, then it's irrational. And the only other set is real. Now technically you don't have to say real because it's saying subsets of real numbers. Real numbers are a improper subset of real numbers. So if you put it, I'm not going to mark it wrong, but you don't need it. Okay? So this is an irrational number. What if it was just negative 3? What subsets would that be in?
Real
Real integer.
No. It's not.
One more.
It's not irrational. It's.
Whole?
Not whole because it's negative.
And
So
it's
whole numbers are only positive numbers. Rational.
Oh, rational.
So it's rational because you can throw it over 1. Okay? And call it a fraction. So -3 would just be in rational integers and that's it. Okay? They're real numbers, but it's technically not a proper subset. 13, evaluate. So all we're doing is plugging and chugging. So 2x² plus 4xy. So plug it in for -3. X equals -3. Y equals, is that -2? Okay. So all we're doing is plugging it in. See what they did there? I mean, you could do it that way if you wanted to, but do it. You do you. Okay? So I'm just going to replace that x with a parenthesis, -3. If you don't put a parenthesis, do you see what's going to happen?
You would get a negative instead of a positive.
Yeah, because it would be 3 squared, not -3 squared. Okay? So make sure you put a parenthesis plus 4. And all I'm doing is replacing the x and the y. So far, so good?
See.
Okay. Now, technically, you don't have to do this. If you don't have to write it out like this. If you're brave, you can just say, oh, well, 2x², okay, squared -3, that's 9, so 2 times 9 is 18. And then 4xy, so 4 times -2 times -3 is positive 6, so 24. So 18 plus 24, and you're done. Okay, but to be safe, just write it out, and when you plug in the numbers, don't forget those parentheses. So this is, I'm going to do exponents first. Do the exponents first, and so I get 2 times positive 9, because it's -3 times -3, plus 4 times, well, you could do that if you want, but technically if we're doing order of operations, we're just going to do exponents first. Doesn't matter. All right, next is multiplication. So 18 plus 4 times -3 times -2 is 24. Add them together, you get 42. Is that what you guys got?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Does it make sense now?
I mean, yes, but like theoretically, you could write the 2 at the 2 times -3 squared without parentheses.
Yeah, as long as you remember that I mean, if you did this though, Silas, 2 times -3 squared.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, the way you just wrote it is this is -3 times itself. So -9, which would give you a -18.
Exactly, that's the way I did it. So I got negative. So I got
Okay,
6.
so just remember that when you plug it in, you're not squaring part of x, you're squaring all of x, even the negative sign. Okay?
Oh, I
So
see.
when you plug it in, especially with negative numbers, use parentheses. Okay?
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
makes sense.
Good mistake. That was a good one because other people are going to make that mistake and you just saved them.
Okay. I'll be the mistake saver. I'll make all the mistakes.
Yeah.
Totally failed this class.
All right. What are you supposed to be asking me every now and then?
Sacrifice,
you
just be
recording?
generous.
Yes.
I got you.
Sacrifice myself for others.
Yeah.
Free problem set?
I should, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Except, I mean, you kind of reminded me to remind you, but like.
Yeah.
Every
It's
time
fine.
we say, are you recording, we get a free problem set.
That would
Are
be
you
sick.
recording?
That'd be sick.
Okay, where are we? Number 14. All right, evaluate A times -A plus B minus AB. A equals -3. B equals -2. Okay, so this is where those parentheses are going to come in handy too. It's going to be a little confusing if you don't have them. All right, so all I'm going to do is replace A's with -3, parenthesis -3s, and replace B's with parenthesis -2s. Everything else I'm going to leave the same. I get to an a first. All right. So replace it with a -3, parentheses. All right, I get to an actual parenthesis.
B isn't -2. B is 2.
B is
Yeah,
B is 2?
B is 2. Is that our free problem set?
That's half of a free problem set. If you catch another,
Oh,
yeah, that's what I did.
How do you just do half?
Yeah, so if you catch another clerical error, then I'll
Cleric.
get it.
So, for right now, I could just
So-
do like 15 problems.
No. So that negative sign is not an A or a B, so I'm just going to copy it down. See how this parenthesis and negative? I'm just copying it down. And then when I get to an A, what do I write?
Negative.
Parenthesis,
-3.
-3.
That marker sucks.
All right, and then when I get to a B, what do I write?
Parenthesis 2.
Parenthesis 2, or if it's not a negative, you could probably just put a 2. Okay? It's with the negative numbers that if you don't put it in parentheses, it's going to be confusing. Minus. All right, A.
Oh my goodness.
Not any better, but
Okay, thank you.
yep.
That's a tough shot. I mean, you got it.
Did I try making it?
Yo,
You were better last year when it was like.
Well, I didn't want to kill
straight-
Gracie, so she's like sitting right there.
Yeet. Oh my gosh.
I've got a new blue one.
Oh
It's
my
Nell.
Oh.
Okay, now what? Now what?
That's a flex.
do stuff.
What do you do first?
Yes.
Always P first. Here we go.
Oh my god.
All right, so this is still a -3 up here, and inside the parentheses, that's -3. What's a -3?
Positive.
+3 plus 2 is 5. That's pretty. Minus. Technically, that's not in parentheses, so I'm just going to leave it alone. You can do it if you want. I know you're excited. Now, what do we do next? Multiplication. -15
Yeah.
minus -6.
Yeah, I got it right this
Now
time.
what?
Plus +6.
Plus +6. Chicken scratch that crap.
Sick.
-9. Did you get -9, Silas?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I really failed on this practice.
All right.
Oh wait,
Get
so
105
just
though, so.
wrong.
Does that feel all right?
Yes.
So plenty of ways for you to mess this up.
I love that.
Okay, so go slow. All right, create 2 matrices. No problem. I'm not afraid of you.
Wait, we're not done?
No.
Still more? Oh, wow.
We
There's
have
still more.
6 more problems.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I'm going to create 2 matrices. What is that? 36,
This one's easy. You just
25, 42, 80, 90, 95,
It takes so long.
17, 22,
31.
31.
Oh my god. Mr. Flack, I think you're in the wrong class.
I can't help myself.
I think you should be in there performing for them.
15, 19, 18, 55, 64.
You should take voice lessons. You're beautiful. Wow.
I wonder
Voice
what
lessons?
I need it. I need it.
Okay, we're just adding these suckers together. 36 plus 15, what is that? 51. 25 plus 19 is 44.
No, like seriously.
18 and 42 is 60. Is this what you guys are getting?
Yeah.
135,
I could.
152,
I've seen girls do it before. I could.
170,
I could. And then just like,
29, 41,
just gonna.
56. Is that what you guys got?
That's exactly
All
what
right,
it is.
that's it. That's just a lot of copying down stuff. Make sure you copy it down correctly. Don't be a moron.
Couldn't be you.
All right, number 16. If c of x, so this is the function. So when you see c of x, it's not c times x, okay? C of x equals 2x plus 1. H of x equals 3x squared minus 2x. Okay, so find h of negative 2. So guess what?
Oh my.
We don't need that, right?
Yeah.
So it just gives us two functions and say put it into that one. Don't put it in the other one. So all we're doing is plugging in this negative 2 there and there. So it's just like those other problems. We're just plugging and chugging. And we're going to plug in parenthesis negative 2 for x. Just like we did on that last problem, right? So what's negative 2 parentheses squared? 4. So now do the multiplication. 12 minus negative 4.
Plus positive 4.
Plus positive 4 gives you 16. Awesome.
Okay, next one. Why is it in parentheses?
that one.
Like, come on.
So far, so good?
Yeah.
No.
I only have one wrong right now.
I do too.
Like,
Free problem set.
Number
No, I have
17. Find the multiplicative inverse of 7a over 13b. Multiplicative inverse is a fancy word for reciprocal. 13b over 2a.
You mean 7A, right? You said 2A.
You said 2.
Oh my gosh.
Ah,
That's
wait,
another
that's
half.
the other half. That's another
But I
half.
wrote,
That's
that's the weird thing. I
Yes,
wrote it
3/4.
right.
You did.
Oh,
but you
yeah.
I'll
said
give it to you.
wrong.
I'll give it to you. I'll
Yes,
give you 3 problems.
3 problems.
How do I not get 2 when I got 2 right? And he just says one word and gets 2.
Well, because
He
he's
got-
paying attention, like really
No,
close.
I was
You are. I know. I know. I
You
know.
need one problem set.
I'm affirming you.
Wait, but you caught.
But I caught 2 different issues in one problem.
And he also caught.
He
I
caught
got
2
two different
problems.
issues.
Yeah,
too.
but they were. Did you get 2 problem sets?
No, I just got one.
No,
problem.
just
Okay,
one
then
problem.
I'm
Yeah, yeah.
Then yeah.
All right, number 18, the speed of light is a big number per
Big
second.
number.
If the sun is big number meters from the earth, how many seconds does it take light to reach it? What kind of problem is that?
Scientific notation.
It is, but what kind of problem? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide?
Division. Wait.
Division.
Copy dot plot.
Yeah.
Right, so it's so you can go 1.496 times 10 to the 11th divided by
Yeah.
3 times 10 to the, what is that, 8th?
Yeah.
Don't tell my brother, I didn't know that. That's the speed of light. Okay? So what do? You just divide normally the big numbers, and then how do you divide powers of 10?
Just add
Just
Well,
subtract.
that's how you multiply powers of
Yes,
10.
subtract.
Well, you subtract the exponent, so this is going to be times 10 to the third. So what is that? 3 goes into that. 0.4, 9, 8, 6, repeating, I think. Is that right?
oh, I just did.
What'd you guys
I
get?
just did 4.99 because I rounded the 8. Like, is that okay?
Yeah, so now it's not in scientific notation, so you need to put it in scientific notation by going over 1. So 4.98 7 or 67 is fine if you round it. Times 10 to the, well, I just went back 1, so I need to take 1 away from there because this is 4.9867 times 10 to the negative 1 to get there. So if you add the exponents, you get 2. But most of you could probably do that in your head. If you get this far, that's half credit. Good job. But you have to write your answer in scientific notation. Okay? So meters per second. So obviously the meters cancel, and you're left with that seconds. So that's pretty fast. Okay. We good with 18? You're just dividing scientific notation. It probably will be the same thing on the real test. Number 19. We're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing good. Okay, so this is a matrix plus a variable. What do you do to find the missing variable?
Subtract.
Subtract. So you're missing an addend. So to find the missing addend, you always subtract the sum minus the other addend. So, or you could just do this algebraically. Woo!
That's a lot to write
Those
down.
cancel. I know. It's not worth it, but it looks cool, doesn't it? I mean, I could be on Mathematics Monthly.
You could be. Oh my god.
Okay, so x equals, all right. Just corresponding subtraction, 7 minus 4 is 3.
-2.
11 minus 5 is 6. 4 minus 6 is -2. Doesn't matter.
And then
-6. So remember, -4 minus 2 is a -6.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah.
yeah.
Kira, are you okay? Are you scared of this test or are you excited?
Tests are no bueno.
Yeah. Here's the
Very
deal.
terrified.
You guys are dumber
On a test.
on a test. Always. It's science. Ask him. He knows.
What?
Hey, is it science?
There's nobody there.
Is it science that
There's nobody there.
I'm saying you're dumber on a test. Is that
That's why I failed
scientific?
every single one.
Is that a scientific fact?
So good.
Sure. He said it. Said it.
He's like, oh,
Very.
and that's what I showed everyone.
Love you. All right. Totally.
That counts as peer review.
Okay, same kind of thing. This is a cool problem. You just have to 3w x plus 6, 5, and z equals. All right, well, let's just. Oh, I thought that's what they were multiplying by something. It's just the word 4. 15, -1, x plus y,
Crazy.
and 9. So what you could do is you could just write, since these are equal to each other, that means these have to be the same. So 3w has to equal 15. So w equals 5, right?
Yes.
So that means these are the same. So x plus 6 has to equal -1. So get rid of 6 from both sides and you get x equals
You
-7.
can do it. It's like
So far so good? Is that what you guys are getting?
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, 5 equals x plus 5, x plus y. Well, we now know what x is. It's -7, so 5 equals -7 plus y. So add 7 to both sides and y equals 12. Awesome. And then z
Equals
just
9.
tells you exactly what it is, equals 9.
I did that too wrong. So.
All right. It lasted the whole time. Good job. I'm so proud of you.
I'm so
Flack math! Give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Flack math!